director then asked, and I quote, "This crisis like no other. This is a crisis like no other. Pandemics don't respect borders. Neither do the economic shocks they cause. The outlook is dire. We expect global economic activity to decline to a scale we have not seen since the Great Depression." End quote. Supply chain disruptions and rising price of oil resulted in major increases in the prices of fuel, freight, and food across the globe. I believe it is worth pointing out that in addition to the external factors, there were two major items of expenditure that are critical to understanding the difficult economic situation we have faced. And these are the banking sector cleanup and the energy sector excess capacity payments that we inherited. Expenditure on these three items, including the COVID-19 expenditure, cumulatively amounted to 50.1 billion Ghana cedis, and this was financed from borrowing. Ladies and gentlemen, the fiscal deficit, which was reduced from 8.4% to 4.1% in 2019, increased to 10.8% in 2020 as a result of revenue declines in the midst of increased expenditures during COVID. In addition, our debt became unsustainable. Along with many emerging economies, Ghana lost access to international capital market financing. This resulted in a balance of payments crisis as Ghana had to continue to honor its debt obligations, energy payments, and the import bill. We faced a serious global and domestic economic crisis. There were many who predicted that we were going to end up like the situation in Sri Lanka, with fuel shortages, food shortages, inability to pay workers, doomsday, anarchy, and chaos. Indeed, Ghanaians were hit hard by rising food prices, increased exchange rate depreciation, and rising fuel prices and rising transportation fares. Bondholders also saw a sharp decline in their net worth following the painful debt restructuring program. We faced very challenging times, but with calm leadership and the support and understanding of the good people of Ghana, we have weathered the storm. The government had to seek IMF support to stabilize our economy and restore fiscal and debt sustainability over 3 years. I must at this stage salute and give particular recognition to the Bank of Ghana, which has come under unfair criticism for taking the necessary measures which help pull the economy back from the brink. The Bank of Ghana provided needed financing to the government at that critical moment. What the Bank of Ghana did was very responsible in putting the interest of the good citizens of Ghana first. The data which is available shows that the financing provided to the government by the Bank of Ghana was temporary. The Bank of Ghana has provided zero financing to government in 5 out of the last 7 years. Zero financing in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2021, and 2023. The Bank of Ghana financing of government in the COVID-19 year of 2020 and the liquidity crisis year of 2022 was because of the domestic and global crisis, with underperforming revenue and no access to international capital markets. Ladies and gentlemen, the good news is that the data shows that the economy is recovering from the crisis we faced. Inflation has declined from 54% in January last year to 23% in December 2023. Economic growth is rebounding, spending is under control, and the fiscal deficit as a percentage of GDP has declined from 10.8% in 2020 to 4.2% in 2023. The debt to GDP ratio, after increasing from 61.2% in 2019 to 76.6% in 2021, has declined to 66.4% in 2023. And the exchange rate depreciation has also slowed down sharply since February 2023. Whereas the exchange rate depreciated by 30% in 2022, between February and December 2023, the exchange rate depreciated by only 9%. Ladies and gentlemen, what is remarkable is that notwithstanding the domestic and global crisis that we have experienced between 2020 and 2022, the economic performance as measured by the key economic indicators such as GDP growth, agricultural growth, industry growth, trade balance, exchange rate depreciation, lending rates, gross international reserves, and jobs. The performance of all these key indicators is better under our government than that of the 2013 to 2016 period, when there was no global crisis. When there was no global crisis. Let me give you two examples for the sake of time. You look at agricultural growth and the stronger GDP growth performance in 2017 to 2022 period is underpinned by a strong agricultural GDP growth, which increased from an average of 2.9% between 2013 and 2016 to an average of 6% between 2017 and 2022. We have done double what we inherited, notwithstanding the crisis. We have made a lot of progress in agriculture, even though there is more to be done. Rice imports, for example, have declined by 45%. From 805,000 metric tons to 440,000 metric tons between 2021 and 2023. The goal is to be a net exporter of rice by 2028. It is clear that some of our policy interventions, such as planting for food and jobs, have borne fruit. I now tackle exchange rate depreciation. On the performance of the cedi exchange rate, it is also interesting to note that between 2013 and 2016, just before we came into office, the cedi depreciated by an average of 17.7% annually. But since 2016, between 2017 and 2020, there was a significant decline in cedi depreciation to an average of 7.5%. The average cedi depreciation further declined to 6.8% between 2017 and 2021. However, the 30% depreciation of the cedi in 2022 resulted in the average depreciation of the cedi between 2017 and 2022 to be 10.75%. So again, notwithstanding the domestic and global economic crisis, the depreciation of the cedi under our government is lower than that we inherited from the 2013 to 2016 period. Let me talk about jobs. What is probably the most remarkable development in terms of the economy is that our government has created 2.1 million jobs between 2017 and 2022, notwithstanding the global economic crisis. The public sector recruited 1.2 million people, while the private sector created 975,000 jobs, according to SNIT data. We recruited 100,000 more health workers, 100,000 more teachers. We more than doubled the fire service personnel, and so on. Our government clearly has created more jobs in the last 7 years than any other government in the Fourth Republic. This is truly remarkable under the circumstances, even though we still have to create more jobs. Ladies and gentlemen, clearly, notwithstanding the economic crisis, this government has been able to steer the ship of the nation away from catastrophe. In the face of the crisis, overall performance of the economy in areas such as GDP growth, agricultural growth, industrial growth, trade balance, gross international reserves, and job creation has demonstrated resilience. Ladies and gentlemen, available data also shows that notwithstanding the challenging economy we inherited and the global economic crisis that ensued, government has chalked a large number of achievements across the country. Due to the constraints of time, I will only be able to enumerate a few of these achievements. However, government will soon outdoor our performance tracker in the next few weeks, which will detail all of our achievements in every sector and every district in the Republic of Ghana. But I'll name just a few of the achievements. We have undertaken a major roads construction and rehabilitation program across the country, over 11,674 kilometers of roads according to data from the Ministry of Roads and Highways. I am not aware of any government that has done as much in the road sector since 1992. We have initiated and overseen the construction and rehabilitation of more railways than any other government since 1992. Achimota in Sawam, Accra, Tema, Kojokrom Takwa, Kojokrom Manso, and Tema Mpakada. We have extended the rural telephony network to more areas than any other government since 1992. We have increased the network from 78 sites to 1,008 sites. We have constructed more fish landing sites than any other government. Exim, Dix Cove, Moree, Mumford, Teshi, Keta, Osu, Ekumfi, and Mfansiman. Ladies and gentlemen, our government has constructed more sports facilities than any other government since 1992. We have completed 6 new multi-purpose sports stadia and 4 ongoing in each of the 10 regions, all 10 regions. We completed the University of Ghana Stadium in Legon, built constructed more infrastructure and implemented more development policies in the Zongo communities than any other government since '92. The Zongo Development Fund has completed over 200 infrastructure projects in Zongo communities.
Leadership.
The average annual increase in the electricity tariffs was 50% a year between 2009 and 2016. Average annual increase was 50% a year. Was a year. Between 2017 and 2023, on the other hand, the average annual increase has been 11.1%. This is the lowest average annual increase in end user.
Abusian for higher rejoice media team, Mr. Ocean was subscribing na share na Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is speaking the Gusua na cost na work can the government no aye for the past 7 years I call 8 years na Ogusua or kasa na kasa na woman article what you say kasa na Gusua na article na so okoso be for my de bebro rejoice media tv de be ko bia de bebro ntimi sere Ocean was subscribing na kasa na de beba who say Ghana Web and take feeding officially Ghana Web and take feeding apart from that Bawumia speech and the media I use na take na ni for now no more na so make arrangement for some be money soon na so because President kasa na obo waka kradia na ayestai enti enchekra kasa na ye beba na ye feeding mo near feeding the right source and what I say. And this subscribe na share. Subscribe na share. Munshe mamuniamo. Na yenko yemi. Na o comment ni hiyame. Would you say Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia bold decision ya walking obetimi ameki. Ayi ni vice president. Vice president obetimi ayi.
I want to go digital. We were elected into office in December 2016 to solve many of the systemic problems and challenges that our citizens were facing, and which we had highlighted in our manifesto. For example, there was no unique identity, no property address system, fake birth certificates, and so on. We had lived with many of these problems since independence. For me, to lead is to solve. Indeed, all my adult life, my biggest motivation is about finding solutions. Solutions that improve lives. Solutions that make public services efficient and accessible. solutions that make society progress, solutions that protect the public purse, solutions that make our businesses competitive. I derive my greatest satisfaction from solving problems, and I have done so whenever I am given the opportunity, and will do more if I am given the mandate to do so. I had long held the view that many of these problems facing the economy could be resolved through digitalization. In fact, in my 2010 book on monetary policy and financial sector reform in Africa, I proposed digitalization, amongst others, as the way forward for African countries. So when we assumed office in 2017, as Vice President, I made the decision, with the blessings and support of the President, to focus on the critical but underdeveloped systems that would expand the economy, improve systems, and create jobs through digitalization. Therefore, as the Finance Minister oversees the budget through fiscal policy, the Governor of the Central Bank also focused on monetary and exchange rate policy. I focused on the complementary data and systems improvement that would ensure the ease of doing business and change the fundamentals of the economy, making it more dynamic and responsive to modern trends, and the management of it more scientific and efficient. Ladies and gentlemen, I was thankfully appointed as chairman of the economic management team. As a subcommittee to cabinet, we do not have any decision-making powers, but I am very proud of the quality of advice we have been providing over the years to cabinet. As Vice President, I was asked by the President to assist in solving some of the problems that were inhibiting the transformation of Ghana's economy. My approach was to help formalize the economy through digitalization, as stated in our 2016 manifesto. This is why my office has had oversight responsibility for many of the government's digitalization projects. We can only build a vibrant nation if we have strong systems and institutions that work. Very soon, artificial intelligence will transform the world. How are we preparing Ghana for this new phenomenon? I will now come to how we are using digitalization to transform the economy and preparing our society to be competitive, as Africa is busily becoming the largest single market in the world with its 1.4 billion people. Ladies and gentlemen, a major problem that we had as a country was the absence of a unique identity for citizens and residents. With oversight from my office, the National Identification Authority moved very quickly with the issuance of the biometric national ID cards, the Ghana card, to the population. The Ghana card project was initiated by President Kufuor. So far, some 17 million people have been enrolled on the Ghana card by the NIA. I would like to note that between 2007 and 2016, only 900,000 Ghana cards were issued. With the Ghana card, the identity of the people, even dead people, can be established using their fingerprints. With the Ghana card, every Ghanaian, regardless of locations or status, whether rich or poor, now can be officially registered and recognized as a Ghanaian. Before this, it was possible for someone to be born, live, and die in Ghana without ever being registered. Identity fraud, age cheating, football age, people cheating on their retirement age, fake birth certificates, fake passports will no longer be possible with the Ghana card. Today, because your Ghana card is linked to your bank account and your SIM card, people cannot just go and borrow money from the bank and disappear and appear with a new name as used to happen. And this led to higher interest rates. The Ghana card can also be used to travel from abroad into Ghana from 44,000 airports in the world. The Ghana card is a major element in many of the digitalization initiatives that we are undertaking. That is why its successful implementation has been so important to me. Ladies and gentlemen, to solve the problem of a lack of a working address system in Ghana, with oversight from my office, we have leveraged on GPS technology to implement a digital address system for Ghana, capturing every square inch of land or water in Ghana. Today, every property in Ghana has a unique digital address, along with street names and house numbers. And finding directions to any location is now very easy. Ladies and gentlemen, we faced a major problem of a very few people having access to financial services. To solve this problem, I championed the implementation of mobile money interoperability. Mobile money interoperability has made it possible to transfer money seamlessly across different mobile money providers and between bank accounts and mobile wallets. Today, because of mobile money interoperability, you can transfer money from a customer of one mobile money service provider to a customer of a different mobile money service provider, and also make payments from your mobile money account into any bank account, and you can receive payments from any bank account into your mobile money account. Ladies and gentlemen, you can do this 24 hours a day. Apart from achieving financial inclusion, mobile money interoperability has also significantly promoted a cashless culture, especially by our market women and the business community, thus reducing robberies and attacks on market women and business folks on our highways. Armed robbers used to attack vehicles carrying traders, knowing they were carrying cash. But now, many traders don't carry cash because they keep their monies on their mobile wallets for seamless transactions wherever they are. Today, because of mobile money interoperability, you can also receive remittances from abroad directly onto your mobile wallet without the need to go to a bank or Western Union money transfer. Because the mobile money account performs just like a bank account, as a result of mobile money interoperability, over 90% of Ghanaian adults have mobile money accounts that function just like bank accounts. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have basically solved the problem of financial exclusion in Ghana. The State of Inclusive Instant Payment Report has ranked Ghana as the #1 in Africa in terms of access to financial inclusion. #1 in the whole of Africa. Today, because of digitalization, anyone can do banking and digital financial transactions 24 hours a day. The data shows that at the end of 2016, the total cumulative value of mobile money transactions was 78.5 billion Ghana cedis at the end of 2016. Following mobile money interoperability, the total cumulative value of mobile money transactions has increased from 78.5 billion to 1.9 trillion cedis in 2023. Therefore, between 2016 and 2023, following mobile money interoperability, Momo transactions have increased by 2,335%, a 23-fold increase. This is why Ghana continues to be the fastest growing mobile money market in Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, the digital payments infrastructure that we have put in place is boosting e-commerce in Ghana. Businesses are booming over Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and so on. Many people who could not afford to rent or build shops. Ghana is currently ranked #6 in Africa in terms of e-commerce. #6 in Africa, behind Mauritius, Nigeria, South Africa, Tunisia, and Morocco, according to ANTA. Ladies and gentlemen, addressing corruption in the public service, our approach to improving delivery of public services is to minimize human contact as much as possible. Therefore, we embark on an aggressive digitalization of processes of service delivery across many public institutions with coordination from my office. When you look at the passport office, we have digitalized the passport office with oversight from my office. With digitalization, the average turnaround for acquisition of passports has been significantly reduced. And today, because of digitalization of the passport office, you can apply for your passport online from your home 24 hours a day. The digitalization of the passport application process has resulted in a major increase in the number of passports processed annually, as well as the revenue yield to the passport office. In 2018, the total number of passports issued was 346,911, and the revenue generated in 2018 was 11.8 million. By 2023, following digitalization, the passport office issued 751,761 passports with revenue of 94 million Ghana cedis. The ultimate objective is to eradicate human interface in all phases of the passport application process, to give true meaning to the online filing and processing of forms. I will come back to this issue of passport shortly when I get into my vision and priorities. Then we went to the ports. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, previously, the bureaucracy in the clearing of goods at Ghana's ports involved a lot of paperwork, which used to be largely manual. This caused delays, corruption, inefficiencies, frustration, and loss of revenue to government. Many citizens who had cleared goods at the country's ports had horror stories about their experiences at the port. With oversight from my office, the introduction of a paperless port system has reduced the layers and simplified the process, reduced the time needed to clear goods and the avenues for corruption, and increased efficiencies and revenue mobilization at the ports. Digitalization has also taken place at the Drivers and Vehicle Licensing Authority, which offers two traditional services: driver licensing and vehicle registration services. And today, the office services that DVLA is offering can be matched, well, and they're just world class. They can be matched to any other country. Ladies and gentlemen, my office also worked with the National Insurance Commission to implement the motor insurance database. The objective of the introduction of the motor insurance database is to provide more safeguards for the millions of Ghanaians who travel by road by ensuring that vehicles are insured. It also curbs the menace of vehicles with fake motor insurance stickers plying our roads and thus endangering lives and property. With digitalization of the motor insurance in Ghana, members of the public can now self-check the authenticity of their insurance policy by dialing a USSD code *920*57# and follow the instructions. You put in the number, it will tell you whether the car is insured or is not insured. So, today, you can know the status of the vehicle, is the insurance status of any vehicle 24 hours a day. Today, because of digitalization, you can also apply for insurance for your vehicle on your mobile phone and receive your insurance sticker electronically. And you can do this 24 hours a day. Ladies and gentlemen, with oversight from my office, we have digitized the births and deaths registry, and we have just completed the integration of the births and deaths registry with the databases of the Ghana Health Service and the National Identification Authority, so that the record of births and deaths would be consistent across all of these databases. Starting this quarter, in fact, I will launch this in a few weeks, but starting this quarter, newborn children in Ghana will be given a Ghana card number. But the actual Ghana card will be issued when the child is 6 years old, when his or her biometrics are fully formed. So we are bringing abrogere to Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, in the past, candidates applying for a scholarship usually had to travel from all parts of Ghana to Accra to take part in the application process. This caused a great deal of inconvenience for applicants seeking government sponsorships. The manual processes of the Scholarship Secretariat resulted in an inefficient administration of scholarships in the country. With the digitalization of the Scholarship Secretariat, candidates can now apply for scholarship from the comfort of their homes 24 hours a day and take aptitude tests and be interviewed in their own districts. The Ghana.gov platform. Ladies and gentlemen, to make it easy to access government services, I led the initiative to establish the Ghana.gov platform, which was implemented with oversight from my office. The Ghana.gov platform is a one-stop shop for accessing government services. So far, out of the 1,516 ministries, departments, and agencies targeted, we have onboarded 1,503 of them onto the Ghana.gov platform for e-government services. So 99% of MMDAs have been onboarded on the Ghana.gov platform. All payments on the Ghana.gov platform go directly into the government accounts to ensuring transparency. Since 2020, a total of 201 billion Ghana cedis has been collected for government on the platform. For services onboarded and receiving payments, you should be able to apply for and obtain any government service online through the Ghana.gov platform 24 hours a day. Digitalization has therefore dealt a severe blow to correct the corruption involved in the collection of payments by different institutions for government. The progress Ghana has made in the provision of e-government services is remarkable. According to the UNDP 2022 e-governance index, Ghana is ranked number 1 in West Africa and number 4 in the whole of Africa in terms of e-governance. And we are ahead of countries such as Rwanda, Botswana, Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal, Kenya, and Uganda. With oversight from my office, ladies and gentlemen, digitalization at the Electricity Company of Ghana has allowed the buying of electricity credit on your mobile phone through the mobile ECG app. This has provided relief to customers who no longer have to queue for long hours to buy electricity units. Also, for people whose credit runs out at odd hours, they can purchase electricity credit on their mobile phones 24 hours a day. Now, for people who need a new service or a separate meter from ECG, they can also apply online 24 hours a day. 3.5 million people are on the ECG app, and as a result of digitalization, ECG's monthly revenue collections have increased from 450 million Ghana cedis a month to 1.2 billion Ghana cedis a month. Ladies and gentlemen, Ghana has a major challenge in the area of domestic revenue mobilization. The tax to GDP ratio is about 14%, compared to 27% for South Africa and 34% for the advanced OECD countries. Most adults in Ghana are outside the tax net, and compliance is very low. At the beginning of 2017, only 4% of the population of Ghana had tax identification numbers. To increase the number of people with tax identification numbers, I propose that we designate the Ghana card as the tax identification number. In doing this, we have increased the percentage of adults with tax identification numbers from 4% to 85%. It is now incumbent on the GRA to use this database in tax collection to broaden the tax net. Furthermore, ladies and gentlemen, with oversight from my office, the SNIT, National Health Insurance, GRA, Controller and Accountant General Payroll, DVLA, SIM cards, and bank accounts have all linked to NIA database linked to the Ghana card. Today, your SNIT number is your Ghana card number. Your NHIS number is your Ghana card number. Your TIN number is your Ghana card number. The integration of the database is allowing us to successfully weed out ghost workers on payroll. A biometric audit of the National Service Scheme payroll found about 44,707 ghost workers and potential ghost workers between 2022 and 2024. And this has saved Ghana a total of 356 million Ghana cedis. Also, SNIT has suspended payment of 480 million Ghana cedis to 29,000 ghost pensioners using the Ghana card system. Ladies and gentlemen, we have also recently integrated the Controller and Accountant General payroll database with the NIA database to eliminate ghost workers on government payroll. Through digitalization, we have finally been able to solve the long-standing problem of ghost workers on government payroll. Ladies and gentlemen, many people, including highly educated people, find the process of filing taxes complex. To make it easier and less cumbersome to file taxes, I challenged the GRA to come up with a simple-to-use mobile app to enable ordinary people to file and pay taxes using their mobile phones. And this has been done. Today, you can file your taxes 24 hours a day on your mobile phone. Ladies and gentlemen, in the area of healthcare, digitalization of hospital medical records, to make healthcare easily accessible across the country, we have overseen the connection of health facilities under the Ghana Health Service onto one digital platform. So far, all teaching hospitals, all regional hospitals, and all district hospitals have been connected and can talk to each other. The goal is to network over 90% of all hospitals in Ghana by the end of next year. So currently, if you are referred from a hospital like Tamale Teaching Hospital to Kolebu Teaching Hospital, you do not need to carry a folder. All your records will be seen and monitored by the doctor in Kolebu when you arrive. Patients will have only one digital folder wherever they go. Your health records can be accessed 24 hours a day from any of the 302 network hospitals. Ladies and gentlemen, digitizing the operations of the National Health Insurance Authority has helped to reduce fraudulent claims. The renewal of all national health insurance registrations used to take place at various NHIA district offices. This led to backlogs and long queues. In some instances, people slept for days at some district hospitals. These delays hampered the operations and limited the revenue streams of the NHIA. With oversight from my office, we have digitalized the enrollment and renewal of the National Health Insurance membership. Following digitalization, renewal of National Health Insurance registration via mobile phone can now take place 24 hours a day. And this has eliminated the bottlenecks that were there. I now come to drones. Ladies and gentlemen, I remember with so much pain when my father underwent an operation in Tamale Teaching Hospital. He was losing blood that night, and the doctors were trying to get blood for him. We rushed to the hospital blood bank, but it was closed. I tried to get the phone number of the one in charge and made several calls, but he did not pick up. We were running against time, and by the morning, my father had died. that painful experience is forever with me. So when I heard about zipline drone in an emergency, I was determined to get it for Ghana, to save many lives that are needlessly lost. I went to Silicon Valley in the USA, and I had a meeting with the co-founder of Zipline, Robert Keller, and convinced him to set up Zipline in Ghana. When I announced the imminent arrival of Zipline in Ghana, our friends in the opposition said that the drones were for taking pictures of women in their bathrooms. Ladies and gentlemen, previously, hospitals and clinics in remote and largely rural communities like Nyangosra in Afajato South, Afram Plains, Yagaba, or Yunyo had difficulty of getting medical supplies, especially in times of emergencies involving snake bites, childbirth, blood loss, floods, and so on. Many lives are needlessly lost because the hospitals are unable to access critically needed supplies on time. To address this problem, Ghana opted to partner Zipline, the world's largest automated on-demand delivery service for medical supplies. We've established 6 Zipline distribution centers in Omanako, in the Eastern region, in Panya, Ashanti, Mampong, Vopsi in Northeast region, Seshuri also, Kitikrachi, Enum, and Zipline has made millions of deliveries of medicines, blood, and vaccines to many remote parts of Ghana and has saved many lives. Ladies and gentlemen, Zipline services are available 24 hours a day. I should add rather proudly that Ghana is currently has the largest medical drone delivery service in the whole world. The whole world. What is even more impressive is that the drone centers are 100% manned by young, talented Ghanaians. They are manning all of the drones. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2019, I challenged the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana during their annual meeting in Ho to go digital and place all pharmacies in Ghana on a digital platform for ease of access by Ghanaians. The Pharmacy Council, in collaboration with the private sector, has completed the work on a digital platform for all pharmacies in Ghana. Basically, the National Electronic Pharmacy Platform will offer the opportunity for everybody through a mobile phone to upload your prescriptions and find out which pharmacies near you have the medicines. Secondly, you can compare the prices of the same drug offered by the different pharmacies and decide where you want to order from. And those orders will be delivered using your digital address at home. Ghanaians will experience the e-pharmacy platform in full operation this year when every pharmacy is onboarded. E-pharmacy services will be available 24 hours a day. Ladies and gentlemen, over the last 7 years, we have witnessed what some international observers have described as an extraordinary digitalization of the Ghanaian economy. But this extraordinary digitalization has not happened in a vacuum. We have had to put in place critical infrastructure to support digitalization. I should note that 93% of NCA licensed fiber optic cable in Ghana. The total licensed fiber optic cable is 7,234 kilometers, but 93% of that was put in place since 2017. Since 2017. In addition, we've implemented a national government cloud infrastructure, cybersecurity infrastructure, deployed the public key infrastructure, PKI, to provide another layer of security to students, to citizens, to support digitalization. Ladies and gentlemen, what is remarkable about Ghana's digitalization journey is that the various initiatives were implemented using local IT companies and local talent. It was deliberately done that way. So, ladies and gentlemen, if as my prospective employer, you ask me the question, so Dr. Bawumia, you want to be president of Ghana, can you tell us what you did for Ghana in your capacity as vice president? I will say in response that I have, with the support of the president, I've had the honor and the privilege to be given the opportunity to initiate, champion, or oversee many problem-solving policy initiatives. Many of these include many of the digitalization initiatives that I have just discussed, the no guarantor student loans with a Ghana card, one constituency, one ambulance, zipline drones, Agenda 111, the Sino-Hydro Barter Agreement, provision of hydroxyurea for sickle cell patients, Zongo Development Fund, the Bank of Ghana Gold Purchase Program, the Gold for Oil policy, abolishing the filling of embarkation cards, Go Ride taxi service, the system to tackle ghost names on the public payroll, and many more. It is important, ladies and gentlemen, to note that many of the transformational policy initiatives that we have introduced since 2017 are being done for the first time since independence. What is interesting is that because many of them have not been done before, many people who think in terms of impossibility argue that they were not possible, but we have made them possible. Criticisms and name-calling eventually gave way to reality, as the nation is greatly benefiting from these initiatives. What we have been able to accomplish so far shows that it is possible for Ghana to achieve many things that some believe to be impossible. It is possible if we put our minds to it. We need to break the shackles of impossibility and embrace the mindset of possibility. Ladies and gentlemen, I now come to my vision. Ladies and gentlemen, as vice president, I am like a driver's mate. But by the grace of God, if you make me the president, I will be mandated authority to pursue my vision and my priorities. So what do I want to do in terms of vision and priorities and policies if you give me the opportunity by the grace of God to become president of the Republic of Ghana? Ladies and gentlemen, in this regard, I have been engaged in a lot of consultation and doing a lot of thinking in the last few months about the lessons of the last 7 years, as well as my vision and priorities as I seek to become president of the Republic of Ghana. Clearly, the initial conditions that we inherited in 2017 are not the same as will be in 2025. Therefore, my priorities will be different. We have done many good things, and I will be seeking to build upon them. My vision, ladies and gentlemen, is to create a tent big enough to accommodate all our people, to tap into the resourcefulness and talent of our people, irrespective of our different ethnic, political, and religious backgrounds, to channel our energies into building the kind of country that assures food, self-sufficient, safe, prosperous, and a dignified future for all Ghanaians. To create sustainable jobs with meaningful pay for all and for Ghana to participate fully in the fourth industrial revolution using systems and data. To realize this vision, we must have a mindset of possibilities and not impossibilities. The challenges we must overcome as a country are too important to let our political differences derail us. There is a critical failure of mindset that manifests itself in the absence of core values, patriotism, and principles within our society. We need to invigorate the can-do spirit of the Ghanaian, to believe that we can do better than we have ever imagined if we put our minds to it. For example, our student from Mamfi Girls High School, Prempeh College, have won international robotic competitions against their peers in the US, Germany, and South Korea. We must apply the same mindset of beating the world in robotics, singathons, and cookathons to every sphere of economic activity. We must believe that it is possible. This must be inculcated in our children from home and in school. This is why we are going to introduce a growth mindset curriculum in our schools to help students build critical skills such as problem solving, risk taking, opportunity spotting, and design thinking. Ladies and gentlemen, in the area of macroeconomic stability, a major goal of my government will be to attain and sustain macroeconomic stability with low inflation, low interest rates, exchange rate stability, and low budget deficits. In terms of prudently managing our expenditures, to reduce the budget deficit and interest rates, my government will enhance fiscal discipline through an independent Fiscal Responsibility Council enshrined in the Fiscal Responsibility Act 2018, Act 982. The Fiscal Responsibility Act will also be amended to add a fiscal rule that requires that budgeted expenditure in any year does not exceed 105% of the previous year's tax revenue. This will prevent the experience of budgetary expenditures based on optimistic revenue forecasts, which many a time do not materialize. Ladies and gentlemen, furthermore, my government will reduce the fiscal burden on government by leveraging the private sector. Under the two-term administration of my boss, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's government, we have put in place many social safety nets like free SHS, free TVET, and so on. With all these social safety nets in place, my government will now focus on jobs and wealth creation by the private sector for all Ghanaians. My administration thank you, will incentivize the private sector to complement government in the provision of many infrastructure and other services to reduce government expenditure and improve maintenance. The private sector will be encouraged to build roads, schools, hostels, and houses for government to rent or lease to hold. The demand for roads construction is massive, and this has historically placed a huge burden on the budget. I believe that the private sector should finance the construction and maintenance of roads through PPP concession arrangements. Also, the government will move towards leasing rather than purchasing vehicles, printing equipment, and so on. The private sector will have the responsibility for maintaining the vehicles and the equipment. With this approach, government can save very significant outright cash out expenditure annually from various items across different ministries, departments, and agencies. This policy will energize the private sector and create many jobs. Enhancing the role of the private sector, along with fiscal and administrative decentralization, improving our systems and the way our institutions function, will lead to greater efficiency, cutting waste and ensuring value for money in procurement. The move towards private sector provision of many public services would create the fiscal space of at least 3% of GDP annually. This represents a major paradigm shift. Additionally, an efficient system of governance will require even fewer ministers. I would have, therefore, no more than 50 ministers and deputy ministers. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about our tax system. To increase government tax revenue, we have to reform and refocus the Ghana Revenue Authority towards broadening the tax base. Unfortunately, the pressure that is placed on GRA staff to collect revenues makes them focus on existing taxpayers. Sometimes they even have to go and sit in people's shops to monitor sales, a process known as invigilation. In fact, many businesses feel harassed by this process and the constant audits of their operations. So this has to stop. We must strike the right balance between collecting revenue and allowing businesses to thrive. Our job is to protect the productive forces. The World Bank has estimated that revenues amounting to 13% of GDP, that is $24 billion in 2023, are not collected because people are outside the tax net. Even collecting half or a quarter of this annually will be a game changer for our public finances. To do this, we need to inculcate and enforce a culture of people filing their tax returns. Incentives must be provided to encourage people to file their tax returns even if they will pay zero taxes. We need a fresh start. The current tax regime has been with us since independence, and it has failed us. Many people do not pay taxes, including property taxes. Too much discretion results in corruption. We want a tax regime that is easy to understand, easy to comply with, and easy to enforce, and that is not subject to so much discretion. Many individuals and businesses find our tax system cumbersome and confusing. My administration will introduce a very simple, citizen and business-friendly flat tax regime. A flat tax of a percentage of income for individuals and SMEs, which constitute 98% of all businesses in Ghana, with appropriate exemption threshold to protect the poor. With a new flat tax regime, a tax return should be able to be completed in just a few minutes. We will also simplify our complicated corporate tax system and VAT regime. To start the new tax system on a clean slate, my government will provide a tax amnesty, that is a complete exemption from payment of taxes for a specified period and waiving the interest and penalties up to a certain year to individuals and businesses for failures to file taxes in previous years, so that everybody will start afresh. Tax digitalization will be implemented across all aspects of tax administration. Everyone will be required to file a very simple tax return electronically through their mobile phone or computer. There will be no manual or paper filing of taxes under my administration. Assessments by GRA will also be faceless. Faceless assessments will provide transparency and accountability. There will be no need to send GRA officers to go and sit in shops. E-invoicing, as being implemented by the GRA, will be extended to all companies. Estonia, India, and Mexico provide very useful models for Ghana in the area of tax digitalization. Ladies and gentlemen, in addition, any audits by GRA will also be done electronically and facelessly. Furthermore, no entity will be audited more than once in 5 years unless anomalies are detected which the individual or company does not correct after being given the opportunity to do so. We will amend the law such that if there is a dispute about tax assessment, a binding arbitration will take place through a body constituted by institutions such as the Ghana Arbitration Center, Institute of Taxation, AGI, Institute of Chartered Accountants, Private Enterprise Foundation, Ghana Employers Association, and so on, with a mandate to resolve any appeal in a maximum of 3 months. This will not affect companies, however, who by their agreements have such arbitrations taking place in international jurisdictions. Ladies and gentlemen, with cuts in government expenditure, the private sector undertaking expenditure that would normally be done by government, and the new tax regime, the flat tax regime, that will enhance compliance, broaden the tax base, and increase tax revenue. With these policies, the situation we are going to face in 2025 is going to be very different from the situation we faced in 2020 and 2022. With the policy measures implemented so far, we have outperformed the IMF fiscal deficit target of 5% by attaining a fiscal deficit target of 4.2% in 2023. The new policies that I am proposing to implement in 2025 will give us the fiscal space to eliminate some taxes, such as the proposed VAT on electricity, if they are still on the books, the emissions tax, and the betting tax, without compromising our fiscal deficit. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to build a Ghana where we leverage technology, data, and systems for inclusive economic growth. I want us to apply digital technology, STEM, robotics, and artificial intelligence for the transformation of agriculture, healthcare, education, manufacturing, fintech, and public service delivery. As part of this process, it is my goal to eliminate the digital divide by achieving close to 100% internet penetration in Ghana. We have already made significant progress in this direction by increasing internet penetration from 34% in 2016 to 72% in 2023. So we've more than doubled internet penetration. The task in the next 4 years is to move from 72% to close to 100% internet penetration. It is possible. I want to see Ghana build the digital talent that we require for the fourth industrial revolution. This will mean providing digital and software skills to hundreds of thousands of youth. This, along with other policies, will create jobs for the youth, including school dropouts. In collaboration with the private sector, we will train at least 1 million youth in IT skills, including software developers, to provide job opportunities worldwide. Generally, there will be an enhanced focus on TVET education. My government will also support the establishment of a national open university, Ghana, in collaboration with the private sector, with a focus on technical and vocational skills and ICT. Ladies and gentlemen, to help our youth get jobs, I believe it is time to rethink the concept of the current national service scheme. My government will propose that those who, after completion of their education, can secure jobs will be exempted from national service. National service will no longer be mandatory, and students will have the option to decide whether to do national service or not. This will also encourage companies to go to the campuses to recruit annually. This time they don't go because of national service. Ladies and gentlemen, to prepare our children for the fourth industrial revolution workplace, I will enhance the repositioning of the education system towards STEM, robotics, artificial intelligence, and vocational skills to cope with the demands of the fourth industrial revolution and job creation. My government will make coding and robotics standard in senior high school. The foundation for this is being laid with the provision of laptops to senior high school students very soon. Teachers have already been given the requisite training. Following the senior high school, we will also implement a one student, one laptops policy for tertiary students through the provision of a zero interest loan with a 70% discount on the cost of the laptop payable over 4 years for tertiary students who need laptops. Furthermore, to become a digital hub in Africa, Ghana's telecom industry needs more investment. The cost of data for the ordinary Ghanaian has become too expensive. It goes against the very ethos of our digitalization journey. The industry cannot continue to operate at the efficiency and pricing levels of the least efficient operators. The focus has to be on the best efficiency and pricing for the consumer. I commit to working with the industry players in setting clear policy guidelines that will remove any investor uncertainty and difficulties in business planning, including the expeditious allocation of spectrum, driven more by the goal of enhancing digital inclusion and less by revenue consideration. Another area I want to tackle is reducing the cost of living. Ladies and gentlemen, a major priority of my government will be to reduce the cost of living. The cost of living in the world has increased massively following the COVID pandemic and the Russia-Ukraine war. Global inflation has increased from 1.55% in 2016 to 8.7% at the end of 2022. That is average. This is a 5-fold increase. In particular, The increase in the cost of living has been driven by increases in food prices, energy prices, housing rents, and transport prices. Therefore, any attempt to reduce the cost of living on a sustainable basis must tackle agriculture, energy, housing, and transport prices. And that is exactly what I am going to do. I want a Ghana where we attain food security through the application of technology and irrigation to commercial large-scale farming. We will also promote the use of agricultural lime to reduce the acidity of our soils. We enhance soil fertility and get more yield from the application of fertilizer. Ghana has an abundance of limestone to do this. I will also prioritize the construction of the Palugu Dam by using private sector financing to crowd in grant funds. My administration will also work to reduce the cost of public transport between 30 and 40% with the adoption of electric vehicles for public transportation. The pricing formula is dominated by two variables: the price of fuel and the price of spare parts. Electric vehicles do not use petrol or diesel, and the spare parts are minimal. That is what will bring down the fares for electric vehicles. More importantly, transport fares for electric vehicles will be stable, and the constant and large increases of fares that we have been witnesses will become a thing of the past. Under a housing for all policy, I will also have a major focus on the provision of public housing in the same manner that Singapore did. We will partner with the private sector to build large housing estates, as we have started doing, without the government having to borrow or spend. Also, the National Rental Assistance Scheme, which is working so well, will be enhanced to deal with the problem of for rent advance of 2 years and more. Ladies and gentlemen, as part of the effort to reduce the cost of living, my government will implement policies to have energy self-sufficiency at reduced cost through solar and other renewables with the application of market efficiency to the energy market. We will diversify the generation mix by introducing 2,000 megawatts of solar power and additional wind power through independent power producers to reduce our dependence on oil and gas by the end of my first term in office. Introducing solar power will significantly reduce the cost of electricity. The fact that the current residential, commercial, and industrial consumers' power is still neither reliable nor competitive is the testament that the regulatory and administrative measures so far implemented have not fully achieved the objectives we have set for ourselves in dealing with the legacy issues we inherit. Therefore, like the telecom market, we shall work to bring efficiency of markets and expand competition from the more private sector participation in generation and retail. With reliable and cost-competitive power, we will attract more manufacturing capacity into the country, create jobs, improve services, export more products, and support our AFCFTA strategy to improve the participation of Ghanaian industries in intra-African exports and trade. Ladies and gentlemen, to assist in the transition to green energy, my government will abolish import duty on solar panels so that we can bring in more. I now turn to our natural resources. Ladies and gentlemen, as president, I will usher into Ghana a golden age for the maximization of the benefits from our natural resources like gold, lithium, bauxite, and so on. The key to doing this is value addition and Ghanaian ownership. We need a new paradigm in natural resource contracts. Some of the key policies I will implement to maximize our benefits from our natural resources will include the formalization, regularization, and regulation of environmentally sustainable small-scale mining. About 1 million people are engaged in small-scale mining in Ghana. Our goal would be to help grow small-scale mining companies into large-scale companies with capacity building and assisting them to access finance for acquiring equipment. We intend to create many millionaires in the small-scale mining industries. My government will support the Minerals Commission and key stakeholders to formalize the artisanal and small-scale gold mining sector with the objective of ensuring that activities of the entire value chain are sustainably and responsibly done so that most of the gold produced by this sector can be sold to the Bank of Ghana and be eligible to be part of Ghana's gold reserves at the central bank. In line with this, we will license all miners doing responsible mining. District mining committees, including the chiefs, will provide initial temporary licenses to the miners. As long as miners mine within the limits of their licenses, that is, no mining in river bodies and so on, as long as they mine within the limits of their licenses, there will no longer be any seizure or burning of excavators. I will fully decentralize the Minerals Commission as well as the Environmental Protection Agency and ensure that they are all present in mining districts. Every Ghanaian small-scale mining operator will register under the Ghana Small-Scale Miners Association with their Ghana card. We will, in collaboration with the large mining companies, convert abandoned shafts into community mining schemes, and we will open more and new community mining schemes. District mining committees would be responsible for reclamation and replanting, and we will institute a pension scheme for small-scale miners like we have done for cocoa farmers. We will introduce vocational and skills training on sustainable mining for small-scale miners in the curriculum of TVET institutions and provide equipment to government authorities in the mining communities to undertake reclamation of land. Ladies and gentlemen, we will also set up a state-of-the-art common user gold processing units in mining districts in collaboration with the private sector. My government will also conduct an audit of all concessions with various licenses and new applications. This will allow government to know licenses that have expired and non-compliance with licensing conditions. To encourage exploration, I will abolish the VAT on exploration services, like I say, to encourage more exploration. We will establish, in collaboration with the private sector, a minerals development bank. Just as we have a great development bank for agriculture, we will have a minerals development bank for the miners. To support the industry, we will establish through the private sector the London Bullion Market Association certified gold refinery in Ghana within 4 years. And all responsibly mined small-scale gold produced will be sold to the central bank, the PMMC, or the Minerals and Income Investment Fund, MIF, and will be required. All the small-scale gold mined in Ghana, there will be a requirement requirement that they are refined before they leave Ghana. We'll have to refine them before. Ladies and gentlemen, the increase in Ghana's gold reserves to support the city. Ladies and gentlemen, a major factor influencing macroeconomic stability is the consistent depreciation of the cedi against foreign currencies. This is usually caused by pressure on our foreign exchange reserves. Appreciably, increasing our reserves of gold at the central bank, combined with prudent fiscal policy, is therefore one of the surest ways to keep the exchange rate stable. Two policies that helped to rescue the economy from catastrophe in the recent crisis were the Bank of Ghana's gold purchase program and the gold for oil program. The domestic gold purchase program of the Bank of Ghana is a program where the central bank boosts its foreign exchange reserves by buying locally produced gold with cedis. Before this program, the total of Ghana's gold reserves since independence was 8.7 tons. That's the total we held since independence. This compares to 3,352 tons for Germany, 2,814 tons for the IMF, 2,451 tons for Italy, and 8,133 tons for the United States. It did not make sense to me that Ghana, the largest gold producer in Africa, will have some of the slowest holdings of gold reserves in the world. So I proposed to the Bank of Ghana to start a gold purchase program. The gold for oil program, on the other hand, allows the payment for oil imports with gold. So importers provide cedis which the Bank of Ghana uses to buy gold and pays the suppliers of the oil. This reduces the pressure on Ghana's foreign exchange reserves and stabilizes the rate. Ladies and gentlemen, it will interest you to know that since this program started, the Bank of Ghana has purchased 26 tons of gold at $1.73 billion. The government of Ghana's Gold for Oil program, which also started in late December 2022, has purchased 16 tons of gold at $1.06 billion that has been available for the import of petroleum products. Together, the gold for reserves and the gold for oil programs have unlocked $2.79 billion to meet external payments of the country in just over a year. These two policies have allowed us to build foreign exchange reserves and pay for critical imports like fuel, stabilize the exchange rate. It is important to note that the $2.7 billion that we have unlocked is almost equivalent to the $3 billion loan that we have obtained from the IMF, which is going to be disbursed over 3 years. What is clear to me is that if we had started implementing these policies, say 20 years ago, Ghana would be in a very different situation today. But it is never too late, and we have started, and we will continue. Ladies and gentlemen, given the large amount of gold reserves Ghana has, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Ghana has 7 large gold belts stretching from Axim and Winneba to Nangodi and Laura. According to the Geological Survey Department, the belts cover an area of 43,000 square kilometers, with about 50%, that is 21,000 kilometers, not yet explored. The conservative estimate is that the potential quantum of gold in these unexplored belts is around 5 billion ounces. This has a market value today of 10 trillion US dollars. My government will engage exploration experts from the universities and the geological institutions to assist in exploring our 7 gold belts. However, if even only 5% of the 5 billion ounce estimate materialize, only 5%, it will be a game changer for Ghana. My government will provide the Geological Survey Department and our universities with resources annually to undertake a mapping of areas where we have gold reserves. As a matter of policy, we will legislate that concessions in areas with proven gold reserves that we'll find, 100% of those concessions will be given to Ghanaians and for operations. We can easily raise the capital required and hire the expertise once the gold reserves are proven. Our policy will be to build Ghana's gold reserves appreciably to reach a point where we have sufficient gold reserves to keep our external payments position sustainably strong. This, along with a supportive fiscal discipline, will provide long-term stability for the exchange rate of the city and at the same time reduce our dependence on the Eurobond market for finance. I believe that the maximization of the benefits from our natural resources will help create jobs, improve livelihoods, and also improve the conditions of service of Ghanaian workers. I now come to industrialization. Ladies and gentlemen, I will continue our policy of industrialization in areas such as agro-processing, cocoa, cashew, shea nuts, and so on. Salt, gold, lithium, refining, and manufacture of batteries and automobile assembly and manufacture. And also empower the local business sector, especially startups and SMEs, to drive investment and growth in Ghana, thus significantly boosting job creation. We must also protect local industry from smuggled imports that evade import duties. Ladies and gentlemen, special economic zones will be created. These are the free zones in collaboration with the private sector at Ghana's major border towns, such as Aflao, Paga, Elubo, Sankase, and Tatale, to enhance economic activity, increase exports, and reduce smuggling and create jobs. Tema Port will be fully automated and benchmarked to be as efficient as some of the best ports in the world, like Hong Kong, Singapore, and Dubai. Also, there will be a new policy of aligning import duties and charges at the Tema Port to the import duties and charges at the Lomé Port in Togo. Togo Lomé is our main competitor. This will reduce smuggling and tax avoidance. Also, for spare parts importers, duties will be at a flat rate per container, 20 foot or 40 foot, and that is what we are going to do. Ladies and gentlemen, let us now move to dealing with corruption. I entered politics to serve the nation. My passion is solving problems. My passion is helping the poor, the vulnerable, and the disadvantaged in society. Accumulation of wealth is not and has never been a passion or an ambition. This is why throughout my public life, I have pursued policies, especially through digitalization, to check corruption in places like the ports, the DVLA, the NHIS, the Passport Office, and the Controller and Accountant General Department. So I have a solid track record in fighting corruption, and I have earned a reputation for doing so. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most potent weapons against corruption is transparency. Many corrupt activities are cash-based. Apart from the obvious economic benefits of moving in the direction of a cashless society, the literature does indicate that the more electronic payments are used in transactions as opposed to cash, the more there is traceability and therefore the less the corruption. I would like to bring Ghana close to a cashless economy in the shortest possible time. So far, the Bank of Ghana has made a lot of progress in this direction by putting in place a lot of the systems and infrastructure required. These include mobile money interoperability, merchant interoperability, the universal QR code system, GH-Link, debit cards, eSwitch, and Ghana Pay. We have put in place the necessary infrastructure for Ghana to go cashless. Recently, the Bank of Ghana has completed a pilot of a digital version of the Ghana cedi in Sefless. This is known as the Central Bank Digital Currency, or the e-cedi. The e-cedi is designed to work online and offline and will be launched by the Bank of Ghana in due course. In my humble opinion, the e-cedi with appropriate privacy protections will be the ultimate weapon in our fight against corruption because it will provide transparency, reduce the risk of fraud, robbery, tax avoidance, and money laundering, since it will be easy to track the movement of money and identify suspicious activity. The e-cedi will quicken the pace of Ghana's move towards a cashless or near cashless society. Ladies and gentlemen, to move towards a cashless economy, however, we have to encourage the population to use electronic channels of payment. To accomplish this, under my administration, there will be no taxes on digital payments. The e-levy will therefore be abolished. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Furthermore, to enhance transparency, I will cause to be published online details of all public contracts for public scrutiny. Ladies and gentlemen, in advanced economies, workers are able to easily access credit to purchase basic items such as televisions, cars, and houses. They are able to do so because the credit system works and it is supported by individualized credit scoring by credit rating agencies. In Ghana, a credit system is yet to develop, and therefore life is harder for workers. It is my goal to make it easier and cheaper to access credit by leveraging on our data and systems, such as the Ghana Card, Ghana Post GPS, mobile money interoperability, DVLA, GRA, the bank accounts, and all those to build an efficient credit system and the mortgage market in Ghana underpinned by individualized credit scoring and the digitalization of land titling and transfer. We look forward to starting individualized credit scoring in Ghana this year and will make it easier for Ghanaians to access credit at lower interest rates. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that as when it comes to a national development plan, I believe we can find broad contours of a national development plan for which we can find consensus in areas such as education, health, industrialization, environment, and so on. I will support a consensus national development plan. Specifically, I will propose to amend Article 87 of the 1992 Constitution, as well as the NDPC Act, Act 479, to mandate political party manifestos and consequently economic and social policies of governments, as well as budgets, to be aligned to the agreed upon broad contours in specific sectors. Ladies and gentlemen, the current constitution was designed mainly for political stability, and it has achieved that. We need to amend it with the help of Parliament to align it more for national development. In that context, I am committed to the process to amend the 1992 Constitution through extensive public consultation with key emphasis on issues such as ex gratia, the rights of dual citizens, elections of MMDCs, to deepen decentralization, empowering institutions while reducing the power of the president. Ladies and gentlemen, I want a Ghana where we place an emphasis on values and doing the right things, with the human factor playing its appropriate role in curbing corruption, bribery, crime, dishonesty, and so on. A culture of governance founded on ethical values, transparency, professionalism, and meritocracy, to create a modern government machinery that exhibits more intensity and determination to impose order, discipline, and enforce compliance of the rules and regulations that are in place. In this regard, we will have a strong partnership between government and faith-based organizations. The contribution of faith-based organizations, for example, the Catholic Bishops' Conference, the Christian Council, Pentecostal Council, and the Muslim Council, in areas such as education, health, infrastructure, youth development, and so on, is very significant and complements government's efforts. And so we are going to have them benefit from many of the incentives that we offer to some of our external development partners. Ladies and gentlemen, I will also have a major focus on policies, tax, and other incentives to increase private and public investment in tourism, the creative arts, and sports. More jobs creation. We will build on the year of return, beyond the return, and December in Ghana. We will also introduce initiatives such as digital streaming platforms for our artists and tax incentives to make tourism and creative arts a growth pole. Tax incentives will also be provided for film producers and musicians. To boost tourism and job creation, my government will implement an e-visa policy for all international visitors to Ghana to enable visas to be obtained in minutes, subject to security and criminal checks. Ladies and gentlemen, sports is a multi-million-dollar industry, an enabler for the youth. However, we have not realized our full sports potential, and we cannot maximize the full potential of Ghana sports with the same funding model we have operated since independence. My government will therefore prioritize the creation of incentives for corporate sponsorship as a sustainable module of financing sports development and promotion of our national teams, including football, athletics, boxing at all levels. This will take the financial pressure off government and also enable government to redirect more support to other sports disciplines. Government as part of a broad sports development mission, will establish the Ghana Sports Secretariat, which will be an agency under the ministry, responsible for sports in collaboration with other, such as the Ghana Education Service and sports federations. My government will also seek school-level collaboration with international sports bodies like the NBA and the NFL to make Ghana a hub for these emerging sports in Africa, to create more opportunities for our young people. Ladies and gentlemen, we have already tried this with the NFL, the governing body for American football, which agreed to host in Ghana in 2022 the first which agreed to host in Ghana in 2022 the first ever NFL flag football in Africa after my engagement with them. This paved the way for 10 young Ghanaians to be selected to the United States to represent Africa in the global NFL tournament last year. Another set of young Ghanaians who were picked after the second NFL Africa football was also held in Ghana last year are currently in the United States to represent Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to build a nation that cares for the interests of the poor and the vulnerable, like persons with disabilities, the aged, street kids, lepers, cerebral palsy patients, and so on, in collaboration with faith-based institutions and the private sector. My government will also focus on special needs. To start with, we will recruit special needs teachers, train teachers on how to work with special needs students. We will also train more language therapists and occupational therapy. Ladies and gentlemen, we have secured visa-free travel to a growing list of countries for the benefit of our citizens and businesses. However, the acquisition of passports by Ghanaians at home and abroad has continued to be difficult for many, even though it has significantly improved. So far, Ghana has about 4 enrolled on the Ghana card, which is also an e-passport. To make it easy for Ghanaians to obtain passports, under my government, any Ghana card holder will only have to pay a fee for a passport. You won't have to apply for a passport when you hold a Ghana card. If you are a holder,
we were invited to this program, and then I think it's laudable, the idea we are trying to bring more on board, and then we think
powerful. It is because
support any candidate who is coming to help us in this country.
If you want, I can. Just your approach.
So, if you apply for your passport and pay for it, take it to your home using your digital address. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bawumia administration will also prioritize the full implementation of the Affirmative Action Act, as should hopefully have been passed by January 2025. Under my government, free senior high school education will continue, and we will
My name is Abdurrahim, and
for medical.
to look at the speech of the Vice President of Ghana, and we are hoping most of the
these are just
visible, and it's something that is good
ideas.
Comes to power.
Covered every sector.
It's possible that whatever they say as politicians is something that will come to pass. Mostly we situations, but then sometimes we do not get some of the things when power is given to them. And we are hoping that most of the things that are said are positive and they are good things, and we are hoping that the care the Lord is giving to him, he is able to deliver as he has said. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, so far I have spoken about the economy, the contribution, my in conclusion, the choice God is between Vice President Bawumia and former President Mahama. It is between them.
I have 2 other persons.
We have to ask ourselves a number of questions. Making, if you want someone you can trust to innovative and impactful ideas,
Ok, c'est bon, non? Test micro test.
Wanted to fight corruption, then your choice is doctor. And if you want someone you can trust to work hard and tirelessly and selflessly for Ghana, it is
Micro test, micro test,
who has a proven record to create jobs for
Ok, pas de souci. Micro marche, non?
a man or woman. In this case, we are to care of the poor, disabled, vulnerable. It is Dr. Bawumia. If you are looking for the man who has the vision and commitment to prepare Ghana for the 4th industrial revolution, then it is Dr. Bawumia. If you are looking for the man who is protecting and using our benefit of all, it is Dr. Bawumia. Who will be more accountable to Ghanaians? A one-time president like my competitor, person who can look to the Bawumia. Who can you trust to protect and improve free senior high school? It is Dr. Bawumia. Who do we trust to improve the national health scheme and improve the quality of health care in Ghana? It is Dr. Bawumia, who has demonstrated a commitment to the development of the deprived community. It is Dr. Bawumia. Gentlemen, many people Ghana since independence. a vice president, perhaps make a mark. I would let you be the judge of that. That I have never been president of this country before. In my for the first time to ask a precious vote to serve you in all humility. I would like you to give me the opportunity to become one of the most important presidents in Ghana's history. I have outlined that should put us on the right path and transform our economy. I know that many of us might be tempted to say that we have heard many bright and even brave ideas before, and that will be true. Many will say the problem we have lack of ideas, but implementation. Many will say the problem is. I offer only what has guided me throughout my life. Hard work, personal integrity, accountability, and selfless leadership. I am determined to make a difference. And with you, with honesty and integrity, with wisdom and decisiveness, as to what I want to do from day one if you make me president. I will not ask for a honeymoon to cool off and think about what to do. I am prepared and ready to work. Give me the opportunity. You know what I stand for. You know my vision. My vision about your mission. I believe in the ingenuity of the Ghanaian. Together, in building a progressive society of possibility, open opportunities, and a shared prosperity. Born or poor, from the north, from the south, born Christian or Muslim, a boy or a girl. With support, God's guidance, we can win together. It is possible. Thank you for God bless you and God bless our homeland, Ghana.
A big round of applause for His Excellency and the leader of the New Patriotic Party, Mrs. Bawumia. Please join your husband on stage as we acknowledge the responses from the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Sometimes you come home. Last year was a problem. This year, wave your flags, wave your flags, wave your flags, wave your flags. It is. It is. It is. Let's give them a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And as they resume their seats, please let's all resume our seats. Wherever we may be, we are almost at the end of the event.
Bawumia's address on Ghana's next chapter. Expectations are high for bold solutions and a visionary roadmap for the future. People across the country are looking forward to the speech. Let's get on the street and find out.
My expectation as a student is that we need more jobs in the country, because as students, there are a lot of unemployment in the country, and also there's a lot of brain drains in the country whereby students are traveling to seek greener pastures elsewhere. And it doesn't really help boost or improve the economy of Ghana.
Ahead of Dr. Bawumia's speech on Wednesday, I'm expecting to see both solutions. It's been 32 years of Ghana's fourth democracy, and we have not really seen any bold solutions.
My expertise say, Taisino Ebeba from na yesu ye koja sua, na yesu ye nyama tonu, na eba maye, na aditonu yesu ya nya kakra ewo so, oma life no enye comfortable maye. Ema ye nkrofo ene ye ejuma kitinkiti no, otumi ekosro esumaye yesu.
The person.
With Azar's high-quality paints that last long and give great finish every time, you can color your world with a smile. Azar, #1.
From Azar Group, since 1921.
Hello and welcome to Dateline Lagos on Channels Television. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. Coming up on the program, Governor Sanwo-Olu visits China to procure additional rolling stocks for blue and red rail lines. Governor Sanwo-Olu launches digital portal for land registration. State government provides viewing centers for AFCON 2023, and over 100 youth graduate from Project Loud initiative. Let's get started with Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's visit to China to acquire more additional rolling stock for the blue and red rail lines. All in a bid to deliver the second phase of the Blue Rail project and also unveil the Red Rail operation before the end of February this year. Take a look.
Entire team from Lagos State.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu visits China alongside some top government officials to conclude conversation with China Railway Rolling Stock Corporation in Dalian. After the discussion, the team moves to the Dalian Railway Manufacturing Facility to see how railway operates in China.
Yeah.
Can I have first?
Yeah.
Like I said, so after we take a picture. Okay. Good.
Oh. Yeah. So you put it in English.
English, but this is for Chinese.
Chinese.
No English.
Yes, you're welcome to Rejoice Media TV once again. As Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia had just finished talking, in fact, I know say what would you and we are happy, and now when you're happy, my ente wonka na you won so wadwin nkyerɛ a wode yɛ den wode baeɛ amanfo ka sɛ Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ne nsɛm na ɔkaeɛ no kamea ne sɛ nankɔ so she just go straight to it no nka sɛ kane Agyapong o message na aka na no din na ɛde nti mea Bawumia magye atum meba na maba bɛfa o messages na yɛ adwuma na so wantimi anyɛ ne saa na message na ɔka ni nyina de ba ko a amanfo agye tuma na sɛ e-levy na ɔka sɛ on de obeduru a obɛyi afiri hɔ no ɛno ne message a amanfo so na apart from ɛno de Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ne message na amanfo se omo de omante hwe omo so omante hwe also so far comment bra na frɛ number is 0240778682 0240778682 na frɛ o fra also far comment bra ne Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia kan na woni ne ya adwin ana woni ne ya adwin enye yi ne wo kan ni nyina osusu sɛ ne mu ne ye na bɛboa Ghana ne mu ne ye nsusu na wohwɛ a emboa oman Ghana na yɛmfa yɛn kɔmɔ no ensia sɛne meka kyerɛw no osu betimi afrɛ enche ebenya na hema wa na ene na di nkomo na ebisa no ebisa no 1 or 2 questions na on so ahwɛ sɛ na hema ono so tie Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ne nsɛm no paa no ne ene osusu sɛ sɛbe sɛ ɔyɛ a ɛbɛboɔ man Ghana ana die na osusu sɛ ɔyɛ a ayɛmwa ɛna messages ne ne ɔno no tie a ɛyɛ ne de ɛne ne anya ne de ne nyinaa no yɛde bɛba wa kwan mu so wate ase na Bawumia messages na ɔka sɛ ɔbɛyɛ no yɛmfa bi ngu screen so na hwɛ bi messages ne bi na ɛwɔ hɔ no enti teku na tie ne messages na ɔbɛkae no na hwɛ sɛ wo wani gye ne message no ho ana wani nya den ɛngye ho mo Facebook no nyame nhyira mo sɛ mo hwɛ yɛn Facebook fo no nyame nhyira mo sɛ mo hwɛ ɛna YouTube fo no so mo so mayɛ ade sɛ mo so mo yɛ den mo hwɛ yɛn na capital no messages ne die mo say no capital no enti na wo so wokɔ na wo san ba bi sanse message na no wo fom Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia messages na no wo fom cause yenim say we take bold decision anko yini vice president na so ontimi anye ne sa enti atiefo na anwa ye din maka cho say opese wontu kwan kwa buruchira akonya wo ho we Messi ni a fa number na egu screen ani na frɛ me sie na me director na ko na so so timi tu kwan na kɔbɔ obusuafo na mo so nya bibi yɛ endi so ati ase o tu kwan no we nye agent agimisika agent ayi mi se dabi we de no krotudo na ye ka na ye de ma na wo hu se endi intro enchro enye de enchro enti fa numbers no na frɛ na wo so akwantu na wabrɛ ho enti mi yi afi we di Nyankopɔn ya adom madam one abo wa kwan nti ubetimi tu kwan no without any difficulties obese okɔ Australia and Canada Australia and mo amoye mechanics no mo ni hia mo onyanko school da kra na ultimate express o ho ade bra ye do be kɔ na Canada ne de obi bia timi ye den ekobi ni hia ne sɛ o document ne obi bia ye kama na onyanko nkɔ bɔ kro na woni criminal case bia apart from that de Nyankopɔn be ya adom na wo so otimi aba na Nyankopɔn aya adom na so ye ma wakonya na otu kwan yes enti enche bebre no maka cho se ye di madam one bebe program so no so abekasa na wate ne nka na wo hu no be me ba sisie me twa me ho ba sisie. Yes, so send me catch no me catch say enche e madam one. Ebeba program no so no so aba be kire na adwen e de akire T4. Mommy, you're welcome to Rejoice Media TV.
Thank you.
Okay. First of all, e be say Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia akasa wi. Ne kasa na okasa wutie bi na ne message ne so no e ko sen ma.
Me da si no akonya wa mama. Yami adum. Me sumi nya kwan etie bi na obi se ne be obi su kan ma ho se wo. No ye nyina nyo peso ye no dia betudwa. Ya ye hu difference. Na ni ye hwe anim se enka ni oba be ka no. Obeka dia ko honorable Kennedy de po kwan no so. Na okasa ti se technocrats kasa eno obeka ye.
Okay.
I say brofo eno nti se ne omuka obetumi afa kwan bi so aka asem o ka no on fence ho otumi di twa ne ho saa no Agyapong no so akasa eno bi no be ye no.
Okay, I see. Mommy, yenhwe ni say amanfo bebre ka say Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia no ko o say na yi na o de buy no message no ko fa Kennedy die ni bi information in terms of industrialization no. Who to say the message o de buy with the industrialization o ka say obey with the fertilizer and those stuffs and good oil for good and those stuffs. I said Kennedy vision now the practical way no one share am fa bi amba your system no me pa cho no o gine say
Me ya pa say bad sa because anka se ne ono ka reconciliation ni ade na wo pese party no ye nyina ye be ka bomu ni aye bibia se ne be nyina betumi aye campaign ni ade no aka me de minim se adwe ni oba ko fu otiri mu enti anka ukofa we die no na ka wo de tare ho a the second winner no eye ken no the program no youth no didn't man see the youth program kra na se sia no ye youth no wo mu ni ye ndachi we ho ni aka no we ni nyina aka say vague because one ka sam no no when to me ansi so amma directive anya say na me pe no ba o ka no trara sa no a ebia oje tumu a enye
no who say normal political talk
ti na me si okasati say technocrat a wa fa ni book wo kire wo sani economy na wo so orane no na opeso oberane no ni ade
okay
ba ye ka practical ni o ma politicians see mi be ye mo kwan amamu e da say metubo ho 1000 amamu me sha sie e the first 500 na chire no ma ye ni say specifics and no very encouraging.
Okay.
And no ni me problems sia no. But ono so wa ba be ka bi.
Okay.
Baby to say port to say or call honum me who me.
Okay.
Me port honum at pa.
Okay.
Because port honum said me me pese and I me share him so be canon. One can be said me or cheno. One can be no ya trouble dada.
Any no correct.
Utie, obi anim say 20-footer container said nieji. Na 40-footer so said nieji. And he says anaka say 40-footer ni 20-footer no said nieji no usu ubecha no. Na says it's already in existence. Inti anka u reframe no a ni ebehu.
Okay.
Uti masie. Obi hu say ya dia ni say fruits are se kasa se your car spare parts no se spare parts 40-footer container ba ko a me ji say
okay
se car say a me ji say 10 years over age we no matwemu because cars no ye nya bi ni ayeye wo Ghana no kra e foforo ye ntumi nto
ani na krepa
uti ase no asa ka che wo say me ntwa car dada a wodi bemu won so ko specific sa ebe ma abutoyem o chocho nyomani ni sa na ade no menwa ni hye ho a I say yeah den ko dada do bi sa
mommy were you expecting senka Dr. Bawumia obeka say port ho no bibi e se bi normal na ko demorage
ta
normal wa krade afra bruchira ba beduru Ghana beduru I say 1 week
demorage
ebi krampo na wusika na kolok ba bi at least in can 3 months
no wasi o me ba what honum me ba be cancel demorage mu at least obia clearance me man 6 weeks after 6 weeks no na efie yes e be charge ni demorage bia na ye we say no na emwa director
okay
importer no hu say u bua no
okay
because she say makla ade na bedu na because of network problem ebia important is your friend ni san kame
okay
and tell me say vessel na landing and 3-4 days e chi ansa na ni say kame working hours no so ye 5 days
no correct
nti me koye na 4 day na me koye no a me we na ade asa ya bo 4 ya pon nya coffee day the feed day no mo be kire me ni obetua ni ade na 1 week atwa next week no samantumi ankonye sika ambe clear awura the marriage
na che se o mo krampo delay wo ho no se e bia ye pon wo nwie na che se the marriage ne ba begin si wo
ba begin so enti bibi say na ye be hwe anim obi antam Dr. Bawumia he's a fine learned man ultimate but Yahu shishi ye wokro no mo Ghana for hu shishi won youth ni ye desperate we are looking for solace ye pe baby e di eti beto ye popi obeba be giyen se na koda kitikiti sorry say Ghana for me ba be gemo me ba be yem say we don't care wherever the person comes to ye be support no because we are in a very desperate situation
it's like some now all can say Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, his speech be it doesn't concern the youth directly.
No never try and say concerning youth. No.
Because you won't practical.
Because you see, your chat, your friend saying, the national service.
Okay.
What's your national service? I didn't know you into one national service, more bedding. And you 4 years beba na onyanya company bi okwakọ ye national service wo into the best thing is obetwem for yeni adwuma no e man crofo no
so it's a strategy
thousands, yes the thousands of people are wo graduating from universities dodo ayewo now all of them are supposed to go in for national service and have their certificate that will show say they have rendered service to the country. No,
sometimes
it's not possible.
Sometimes it goes to a way that you have to even pay money. You have to pay some amount of money before they accept you in some institution. Me, for instance, I was posted to DVLA. I go there and they say, "Master, your protocol doesn't reach it."
So you see, so that is the best thing that he did by cancelling, because government cannot employ them.
So the meaning
individuals.
Okay.
Sorry, individuals so womu egi national service personnel no so. Womu the government tia percentage a womu so tia percentage bi o.
Ah yes, I am omutia.
And for free. Into you no so say eh. Na me kura me na no ma me cousins ya me di wo madwuma no kura you know. Abandon nkrofo so ba be scan bi me nya enye. Inti the best thing oye no say o cancel it.
I see.
But anka u just supposed to what honorable wanted to do no say. The national assignment they say obi e co military. Your national program no say. Your national service no odi be co military. Adie ba kwa ye wo sa eyi no say. You become patriotic at the end of the day. Any military training you get makes you a very disciplined person. And that is what we badly need in the system. As our children, they are so sorry to say, some of them, as they are growing, either they don't reprimand them or they are so loose in certain ways. They take things so easy going. And so you need that restriction, you need that discipline for the up and coming youth.
I think that one would have instilled some kind of courage.
Exactly, and boldness.
Okay.
What I say, even a big, no military man is timid.
Yes, that one is true. Even when he's slim like me.
He still can, he still can stand firm and he can address whichever thing he wants to address.
Yes, that
was
true.
Anka ehonumpo, anka se wujaya. Naka fa womura military no. Senya anka honorable etie. Inti anka fa honorable policies ni bi to ho. E mani yi. Favor you to know.
It would have been easier for the breaking of the AIDS.
Because me ka say papa we enyo me ya honorable Kennedy Agyapong edibe. So to me at least 50% of it there's no way we won't follow him. We follow him 24/7.
That's true.
What you must say? Because ni vision no was solve dodo problems.
What can be said? This is not the manifesto he's kind of playing when you manifesto. So he's actually going to bring his manifesto. Do you think coming up with the manifesto, if you say what all that he said does not figure
no say. See, I know to a man say on share honorable Kennedy Agyapong program no non half and mechanic because you can see say he goes to the specifics.
Okay.
Every area he went, he was able to identify in every region what can be done for the youth. One any blanket, one any vague, sir. What you say? Until when the people are supporting this man, they know say this man said that when he comes here, you talk and then you say it's for the private sector. You have already been told that since school 4 times that the private sector is the engine of growth.
Yes.
Meanwhile, no engine na ye grow no. We don't have rich men in the system.
That's true.
We don't have billionaires in the system. What you say? Ghana sikeni biano or people dentino image one way or the other.
That's true.
What you say? So deliberately, the government must make frantic efforts to create millionaires, billionaires.
But he mentioned something like that is going to create millionaires.
What you say? The way he said it, in which direction?
Oh, okay.
In which direction? Chinese told us they were going to make 20% of their citizens millionaires.
Yes, they said it.
Yes. And asked them how it was done. Exim Bank is there. We have a lot of dormant factories. Did you talk about that? How are you going to raise them? When we say talk is cheap.
Oh, okay.
It's easier said than done.
That's true.
Media may say, come with the specifics. Fab a when a bra when I ever follow no Fabra ni ehu say ni ebekọ no. What you must say? It is the what do you call it? At the end of the day,
easier way
chrono koso inti ni eye dede no.
No correct.
Utu kwan kwa ama no ni nyina wo behu say nhihye no wo so be widen tax net no. Obia ka say on be widen. But how are you going to widen it?
This time around, Dr. Bawumia says he's going to give everybody that chance to file tax as it is being done in abroad. And they said that system no person already. But here question is say, me DJ I got me tea. Maybe I'm
jobless.
Maybe I'm jobless. And to bosom me I file that tax. No matter what you need because me nyam for to say outside you can file tax and at the end of the day you get something out of it.
Then you are married with children.
So people are happy paying their taxes. But Ghana here, where are you going to get that money to even go and file out?
And your house, I don't. They can expect so back on taxes. Me say, to say honorable Kai, honorable Kennedy Agyapong Kai, and say, we have to bring down the percentages that they are paying. You have to bring the taxes down.
Okay.
And then you widen. When that is easy to pay now, everybody can pay.
Yeah, that one is true.
Yes, but if it is rigid, say, filing your tax, no, illiterates can't do it. You need an accountant who charging you to be doing all these things.
Oh, that one is true.
Create some bottlenecks. Encouraging for people to pay their taxes.
Oh, okay.
What I say, VAT na womu church womu maye VAT books na womu maye. Ye be church oni nyina na e de akoma wo. No ma hwe no ma ye yi no ma ye. Wo accountant. O say utumi high accountant. No ba be hwe bia say wa ye bibia orderly ana ansa na ube present it.
Okay.
So ube ye bibi say ya. You meet people on the way who are selling. They are not paying taxes.
That's true.
What you say?
Only indirect tax.
Yes. And you need bibi to say tax ID card. Ana booklet bi. Obeka say mammogram bibi sa bibi na omudi tari mu a.
Yes.
E say pepe authentic.
I see.
Anka ordinary person biya no okuta. Uko rabas mukra na bibia obi abehu say wo de wo he mumu kra
to say na omo ya na outside no
even Niger fo a wo mu ni nam kwan ho nyina we can tax them.
Okay.
Be depending on a software like digitalization or the aba no.
Okay.
It's it has helped the nation so well. It has reduced crime. Obi catch you say and reduce crime and no boa.
Okay.
It has actually bring down corruption. Yes. Many of our institutions every day me can't digitalize me try Dr. Bawumia say.
I see.
And nuni ade bia ma me ka say ade papa we abeye mani say anything. Mani say anything. Enti na ka me ka sanka onya abutre no. But chinchina baby ayakodu no. And there near me can say we've crossed the Rubicon. And nothing can stop it.
Yeah,
so what we have to do is when we after the crossing, what do we do next? What's your see?
I see.
Say programs are would you ban for programs that boy use. Women, they say gender balance. Obe ma atames can 40% ma. 15 crowd went to me ma.
Any no correct.
And no so abani dia no so can media no so see. Na ne say a man they don't give them many of them they don't give them the position for free.
Really?
Yes, they go through hell. I don't want to go there.
Okay.
But I just want to say they stress our women too much. When they are in politics, before they will allow a woman to climb up, it's very, very difficult.
They go through a lot.
They go through so much, and it is not encouraging. That's why the women are not coming into politics. It is all now. Also, capable people, capable women position now. Wamudi aye. nanka ye ne sani a wo ka no wuti ase because anka be onu fi no de anka ma pa de omu sheda mama kwan sa but onu see you go out of his way na wa mama post dia ebi ohwe ne yiri nti se ne yiri atumi akọ school akọ enim nti obetumi aboa ema no
okay
anka no de fine but when any time they see it when it comes to implementation no na koye boachi bidin
I see
because every time bia wo the condition tata ho nti man to me fulfill condition na they just say they will not get it
okay
yes if you can ask them why is it that ubeka so be mama 40% position eba 8% kura wo munya
na che say man bi wo ho a ni omu go through nti e ma omu kwan ma monko mommy ene ne wrap it up Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and the team. Obe suggest yamomo. So still they should approach someone like Agyapong to bring his vision on board, so that they should boldly come out and say, Kennedy is part of us. We are going to use his ideas. So Ghanaians vote for us. We are not going to let him go out. Kennedy say fight it together. We're going to implement Kennedy's idea because it seems Kennedy has a practical view.
Very, very, very practical. And nothing I'm can say. Need no, bookish.
Okay.
A brother thinking now can't be breathing in ano.
A theory.
Would the bet you moi, we say in sippy. Now, to say a lawyer casa. Bet me I can send you a run fancy hole. But word back what you were Muntia say, and no,
okay.
But shall say so more breakdown bounces so I can't. So one can ya a unit make kind by some cassa no chess, me see. Well, that's kind of thing. And no be no yen, it say if you are so sanko acquire the manifesto, ye best reno. Say, consider some of these programs, sir. Honorable Kennedy Japan, kaya, ma, ye didn't cheat to say a beast be brave, no, because yen MPP for. Honorable Susu MPP ni, one no swab can why MPP ni, iti a dear ye be ya a bit midi and cambo maba. Ebe ma woman musukodi ne chino, one bet to me I become home because obi wo honuma. And yes, be honorable sika na ho offentina odinachi but enyo mo sure be ye no your policy sir e be boye
okay
enti nko fa bi on fanka ho na yi ne ho no onye wuti ase so yes sir nko fa ne be be abedinachi
all right
and yes adia I'm afraid
mommy before so we kono former president John Agyapong he said Bawumia is a man of destiny.
Okay.
And the first day he saw him, he said it that you're a man of destiny. Anka onya MPP ni na so wababe MPP ni ababe vice. This man is a man of destiny. It sounds like prophecy. Do you believe what President Kufuor said is true?
A question will be said me because anka wonim. Kufuor or your grandmaster. Just say or no what being an ordinary person.
Really?
Yes. Nyame fani mu eye adwuma.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the only difference ni say what you say dramwa won kasa. Obehu ni akraman be kikemu no or no shedi no aka.
Oh, okay.
What you must see?
I see.
Enti yadia esisi ni so ana nyami ena eyitre no
okay
and no be who say but how come say somebody can be that lucky you just join these people and today look at where you are what will you say? You can't say it's magic.
Yes
Njini obe can say nyami eden amisa also ultimacy
I see
because a binu atunton wo mu fie e de agi MPP.
Okay.
A binu ma wari egu because of MPP. A binu ma sacrifice it so much. I donate abwa MPP so much. Sankrofo nyina wo ho. Now you from nowhere. Ukita bag di boss we chi sesia no hu president.
Obe master.
Hey, sesia no what advice.
Oh, so who first time now Bank of Ghana?
Yes.
And I'll say this man
No
after
need
the
Dr.
speech.
Dr. Akwa. I think Dr. Akwa. What you say? Enti ono so line o ti hu no na oyeye. O ho kwan so kasa.
Oh, okay.
O ho kwan so kasa. Ena ade ba ko so aye sometimes Christians so nie hu se yeta hu se nyame de o de ye pe amaye.
Ene no kropa.
Ahubambo no e wo mu asoto. Obi bia ne se ne level of ano. Obi wonu level 10. Obi no ye 8, 5, 6, obi ye 2.
Okay.
Uti asie. Otimi ba se o mu nyina akopre ade ba ko hu. But you are level 10 or be chow. Very, very simple. And sometimes no, so penny be cassia. No, can't say what you say, dear, also, oh, yammy pa.
I see.
Oh, yeah, yammy tio pipe. What you must say. That is the highest he can say.
No, he's a man of destiny. So Ghanaians, we should give him chance and he has something great for Ghana.
Maybe, yes. Because she adhere way to say digital issue ya wafano. Because say yes, problems are solved with Ghana no. And your crab 65%.
Yeah, when I was doing my first degree, I used to tell my people say, if there's someone fighting corruption in Ghana, it's Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, because I know the impact of digitalization.
Yes.
And I know the impact of IT.
Yes.
But it's unfortunate say we are our software now why you know. It seems they don't value they value the outside one, they go buy them and then they dump the IT people over here.
And none is from the leaders. Okay. The interest of the leaders. Obeti say, ye company say contracts that are supposed to be given to Sabi MPP for Nina ko NDC ni Sabi niodi bano or lorry fare. Now the real no one money lorry fare, none way ja. It was so where you have me cockra lorry fare crown mammy. What you see? Now you perceive your BBR free, no. And not some of these things ever. But when you understand, say, the be mammy dibi, nanny pays, oh, mid I see. Now that kind of thing. A part of as a queen mother, no. But them say a part of our culture.
Oh, okay.
What you must see. And we have to really polish it and make it work.
Oh, okay.
Let it work because it's everywhere.
I see.
You I don't have to deceive myself. And we don't have to deceive ourselves.
Okay.
Our leaders know, say, we are very, very good. We are in this country. CSIR and the whole institution, they are doing so wonderfully. But you go and you see, say, a Juma or Muye, no, and you're gonna afford Juma or Muye. I didn't tell her. Because you didn't baby ba. Sadia won't.
Okay.
Have a mom, baby. They do everything. And then they are resourced. Let me put it this way.
Okay.
They are resourced to do the work.
Oh,
so
okay.
when you give the person a job and you resource him, at the end of the day now, he's motivated. He will deliver.
I see.
Yes, but I better bet me and my bet nasi from anopa 8 o'clock to 5. Now be here, Jumana, a cardian ho. You see, these are some of the things that encourages corruption.
I see.
It is even better say, oh, money be here, Juma 8 to 2, no, on coffee.
Not just an hourly basis and an anchor motivating. Oh, the same year, I was here, I mean, oh, okay. Mommy, a bright idea. Assembly now by Kennedy supporters. Meaning, say, program I am on for Japan. Other crown Dr. Mahmoud will be a video cry, a couple of 5 toes, but then it's part of the program, you know, or maybe I'll say a mama update. Now, going forward, the meaning say, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, put out your money, obeti, na ne years so, meaning so your bar. Into Casadi and a year to bed, bet you, and also so Casa, meaning any created 80, also assembly now by catcher on soon to Nukuno.
Oh, what dear, meaning says, send your kind of sa. Ono or two new knufu. Enti ade ye ana ema ni nyina e hwe anim no okunu aka ba e wo se otumi sinipi ne ma ni hu nio pa obetumi ayema emma ena yen so a youth no so a wo mo hwe oni kun nim se obeye adwuma no ono so ne owo ema youth na kasa no otumi edi to ho na youth no ehu
okay
businessmen no so said no ka no so e was ono so specifics ebem
okay
because baby to say as in bank e wo ho no ma or mad loans
okay
there was small scale industry association many small scale businesses when you go no they will tell you say more training at the end of the training no you don't have they don't resource you to go and work
okay.
So there are so many people that they are training but so frank now be can no career their training benefits them
okay
more than giving the money to the businessmen to go and work.
Oh, okay.
Because obiti one no a year business be particular business be a what grow in the business. Nyo here ni capital.
No correct.
Now we see wo money capital but who be money management training. Fine. After management training, what next?
Na je say ye dey be ye training
yes, inti sesia no tumi hu say management training wo mu dididi. Wo mu na edidi wo management training no mu. Na yes, National Board for Small Scale. They might say why am I saying that? I'm saying that because I can see say since about 89.
Okay.
89 before 90 we started chasing them for businesses. You know, we have all these small scale businesses and an association. Okay. I think one of our leaders who is now J. Bini, who is he makes the buying and disinfectants and other ways to see our disposables. We just the institution for a very long time. What I say, and they keep on saying they will train you and they train and they train and they keep on training. The people they have trained. Can they boast of any who have been resourced and is grown? And see, every day is the same story.
Oh, okay. Now you say institution more amudi training na more muska mum. Insa sanka we musu so be benefiting.
Of course, Papa. You have your own. You have written your own. What do you call it?
Business
feasibility. Done your feasibility studies and written your business plan. You can't take it to an institution for a loan because they'll tell you you don't have collateral.
Yes.
And they have created this National Board for Small Scale. They are this thing, so that they are interacting directly with the business men. So why do you then say these people need training before they can be resourced? Okay, and they have gone for their training. And who is resourcing them?
That's what Kennedy mentioned that. There's this bank called Exit Bank and
yes.
other institutions that they will, if you say you're going to build this business, the bank will rather resources you, monitor you, and make sure the work you're doing is going successful. They are not going to give you the money. Where you're going to divide it,
buy you machinery,
and give some to your girlfriend, buy houses, and then luxury cars.
They give them they give them machinery. In fact, that really reminds me. In some years ago, I think around 85, 86 thereabout. I started before 86 thereabout. One of the banks that was deliberately collapsed, Bank for Housing and Construction. Yes, the contractors that were there, they see that when you give the contractor the huge money, he's going to marry a new wife. He's going to, instead of doing the job.
Oh, okay.
So the bank decided to buy the equipment for the contractors.
Okay.
I remember at that time I was an insurance personnel and I was going around insuring these contractors.
Okay.
They were resourced. They buy them the bulldozers, the trucks, payloaders, and all that they needed, concrete mixers. So when you go there, the contractor has all the equipment.
Okay.
So he will not go and waste money. You rent this, they are charging you this, so you can't even go to site because probably you even owe the person you are renting his equipment.
So
the bank resourced them. The bank gave them the equipment as loans. You see, so when you get a contract,
it becomes easy.
They start deducting.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you are working, and you are paying. You are working and paying, and then you came to own the equipment. Is it not a good thing?
It was a good thing.
How many of our businessmen have they resourced them? Government, over the period, they have been making moves. They say they are helping. Where? Who are they help? How many people can they boast of?
This is something. This is something that we all need to talk about.
I say mosquito coil. They are going.
I just say you have to say a boy, but
yes. Kufuor said, as if they are paying us, and also as if we are working. Yes, we don't have to deceive ourselves as a nation.
Okay.
You see, the way they started, National Board for Small Scale, like by now, we're supposed to have a lot of businesses that are thriving in the country. Okay. But when you train them, you see, the first batch has been trained. The second batch, the next money that is coming, is supposed to be for the trained people. So you give them money to go and work. Then you put supervisors on them. Yeah. So the fourth one that is coming, the third one is coming, is going to train another set. Okay. So that the fifth one will be, the fourth one will be their working capital. Yes. Then you have gotten 2 sets that have been trained and resourced.
Sure.
So you do that, you do that, you do that, you do that. But you keep on every year you are training. You train them and you don't even know where they are going.
Oh, okay. That means they've turned it in, like it is a school.
Yes, a school. Now school, you don't know where they go to.
Yes.
What you are saying? And it is very, very painful. It's in fact, they are causing financial loss to the government. By doing that.
We're going to talk about this one after the other. So I think it's getting late. You say goodbye to people and then greet a few people that you wish like greeting. Then we end our conversation here.
Okay. One, I am saying a big thank you for giving me this opportunity to at least say 1 or 2 things about what Dr. Bawumia said, and also say a big thank you to my household, especially my husband, my lover boy, Dr. Ago, Joseph Ago, High Commissioner, the outgoing High Commissioner for Ghana's High Commissioner to Australia. I thank him so much for always allowing me to do what I like doing best. It's my, I feel it's a passion. I always want to help. I always want to help find solution to issues. Yes, I think of the youth, and that is what drives me, because our parents had a lot of children, and we were always thinking about how we are going to grow, how we are going to go through life, and that is what makes me think that the way I'm feeling, others are also feeling the same. So when there's a policy from the government which is beneficial to the youth, it will cut across. We will all benefit. So we want to follow any leader. You lithium. And Australia and Australians soon buy a year. You best say lithium no one and processing what Ghana ha. Na youth no juma. Ye yellow so lucky say papa no enya. The pia nyame doyen or the papa breye. Nti yenye say ya sebi ye consider brofo no a we shouldn't consider them even the 80%, 90%, no. Yenye no senya yenye afo so ye be benefit more. Because ya benefit ya nie bisa say uba so be boa na say uba so be di abro. We hu nti ye mpanifo de ye ni obi aka wo mu wo mu ane enya. Sa wo so umami nya na wo so nye. You say uyi o maami so ebefo a usu ye befo ba enti ye impenifo no ye yin ye won but ye che won say baby a wo mo ye no they should give it a human face wo mo ye no senia ebe benefit ye
okay
say amanfo
I see
because without us no wo mo chase ye no they can't survive
that's true
enti ye wo upper hand ti ye ma ye feel say ye wo upper hand
okay
poverty in the system is too much hardship no is too much and then the 5 cities
asem na momi akobosi adie for ha na edi jumade ni besi na nyame adoma na otwe Dr. Mahmood Bawumia ne nsem na aka ne be yi ne be tutu na asere ne abasa na di accompany ahwe any Kennedy the message na odi bae ne hin ne mudu na sanso kobo youth no digitalization the him say that's the way to go but other ways now oba be ye no is it going to benefit the youth ni ahwe any Kennedy policies so onko fa Kennedy policies no emra na Kennedy na fa na nimdie mwa momonye ana wontumi nye nti ono so emfa na ade foforo emra ene madam one ene di nkom me ka kire se so open control to anamba nsi na gu wo frɛ na ye ma wa kwanya no na madam one do beko madam one say obi o ye mechanics bi ade beko
sa
obi frɛ o se an oni je nka sika ni bibia wo ho but say o hya asase asenti say o pese o mra next week na minister next week na kwanya wo ho sa every time ko see next week no
obetumi aba kwanya de wo ho ye ongoing program
okay
e ongoing program nti obetumi aba
na Canada de no na amanfo ema me pressure lady bi frɛ mo say na ema so ka ho ana say me
ma so ka ho pa
okay
ema ka ho pa ema caregivers no ema ka ho ema dodo na taaye sa caregivers ejuma te say omo mpohwe mpanimfo na enyinyi na wo mo wo ayaresabia eni wo mo wo various homes na wo mo hia ubi ni wo mo di nkomo aserve wo mo ni ade most of the time no nkofo ta derogate sa nkasa no but betumi akacha o mo say one of the finest because so ti ye ubetumi akohia obi a uhunu so ye owo home onye homeless o wo sika bebre wo honum a loneliness wo mutumi kodi ho no be ade achi a obe hu nadamfo ni age mate no mutumi adi nkomo ebinum wo honum okọ be say me kan say here fon kwa na gugugugu hanum o dabi wo mkrom de ntisa ebinum kọ okwa ekonya ebi ewu edi wo mujapade edi mawo
ene amanfo benefit to that
na ye kasa nioma ade a we fall short of saying say we always talk about the negative aspects
in it
na positive no ye mfa mbemu nti obi kọ no a na odi yawo na ekosi ne hu na akire no nti na okwa akoye yi no but ufa no ti say oh me grandma we die ne hu ye ni kan o mami yiri me hu hwe no unim da akie bi okwa na eja wa japade bi wo di be kwa ko hwe na ye adwuma anya bibi di abefie enti akonya de e wo ha ma ema
na ema ne de na obi wo ho na we teacher as a professional na so obi wo ho a wo suasuan sa no adwuma bi na se for sa no apart from say wo kwa health care other discipline wo ho na se field wo ho no so ebi okodo betimi akọhọ ana
ye ma no bebre ye pe adepam ebi wo mbe ye de wo mutumi ko factory factories no so wo muta ye sa division of labor nti ebi adepam say wodi ma adepam ukodu enu ani say office kola ana enu ani say office eyi one hand nti ye ho no ye de wo hye ho a wo be ye say adwuma na ye ni tia ya ebetua oka factory hands no ye tia ema no ya na wo muta pe ema no mpo for yi to say clothing yi factories ni ade no wo muta
so mo ye fashion design na se for ni na
wo mutumi apply no mo akọ esi ade abrochire kọ no de enhye da anye dimbiom na ne hia ni se obedi no kware ebi ni mu wo hono ma ye de wo mu kodu a na efie nu ahya ase atwitwa nani wo se ha no head
okay
mi wa na ebi a ne pay the we sign agreement ama contract 3 years 2 years na 2 years ni new year no akoti baby upese udwane yes no ama ne ono ko ye no ono so wa mboa no wehu obia mfaso nti no ye adwuma obia ye adwuma fo mfaso nti ubenya uwa ha there's nowhere ska ukonya no ubenya nti ubenya abutre ama wasum nipa no anawo contract no wadi so yeah na wa you free na uko different place no wetumi akọ but men yese wani ati me fast ye de ebinum akọ omuko do Australia ho no wo mu ye mechanics omuko do ho no so na they are heavy duties but heavy duty no who say man pest say wo they have mining
yeah, I've heard that on some of the mining
ne ho no so scan mu odu but obi ne do ko ye well wakodu ho no awie no na efi wa hwe ha hwe no adwane no akwakohye ho na brofo wo munti se ye obeyi wa pie ti se wheel ni yibo na Jonathan wo obeyi wa pie se sia se untumi mehye ho se obi na edo ba ye ko wie wo contract wie anu aba enti na eno nti ye jai heavy duties mechanics no ye jai ye nji wo biom na ye beji obi obe heavy duty a na bia se nipa no ye de ni be ko Canada
na ti so mo ko Australia na di kan akwa se ho
bebre no won say mining nti most of them had enu anu mo ye
so they have that
they already they already working in the mining companies and mining sectors no see woba hanum na woba na obehu say have for na say small machines no mu what do you call it saloon cars and no mu working on until on the challenge small machine me big articulators you know payloaders generators all the equipment are use wo mines no enu na wo ye hu adwuma nti baby sa no say he can't fit into
that's
we no nti never say wo pe baby no offer nti na o ma adwane na o ma akọ she baby fufuro yes ani esu aboka
eso wa brendi pana kwa wie o ma no visa bibia fe kukudu ya na ye mommy bra ye ko ye how de o kan wie but me say say me man side no e ko Canada ni Australia ma no so no e won hye ne so to say na processing period na ya be how many months
processing ye ma 2 months ye ma 2 months because honum so working permit no ye hu adwuma ye fan say the month kwa na year ye had no police report for 1 week 5 working days and there are 1 or 2 things so wo mo eye within the year so etumi my time no visa so period ni ade nti ye ma wo mo 2 months
na say a minimum of 2 months
2 months no na bibi aye okay wo mo akọ
amanfo agija amanfo sikedi nti asese gidie no ewo form but I think say entina Rejoice Media TV
ba ye die se wodim se ye pe obi sikedia agia dia anka ye sha ase no na ye gigi scafa we ye di obi eska even there's nothing like processing fee with us
I just say bibia
ye okay now wo qualifier your principals no they were here overseas for no maba
I just say Brofona
back down any number ye nya no omo be screening wo mo ehwehwe said ni pay wo ye say wo hwe ni CV no or experience nti you qualify nti ye we no nyina wie na wo mo de ko ni asend no electronically nti wo mo ye yi na no ma prepare no mo ID a call for visa na yesu ya hwe ni ye ticketing bibia no ne nipa no ni ye ma no ko nti se ye bibia na bibia ko yie a asa na ye ni obekeskase
na che say visa na krampo aba wie no mo hu se bibia ye okay
no asa ni obekeskase nti ya ni ye stress se e wo se utumi ma ye hu se financially no you have the muscles
Okay.
But yes, ye be ye, near a bit more honum say a year ma one more ye, Bibiaco ye fe no see me what fabino so a bememiska, and I may share say me one, a do diaco, embassy for visa. Na if you would niska, and so to me create a problem.
I see.
Ha. And she hadn't done that, dear. Yengi you be a sika. So won't qualify, Upacha cry ye.
Na say Ghana dey say the nyame awadum na say won search me can visa there. Me say ko bank cry heading on best sign no meja. Omadum because omunim say heading a wo ko no dey.
Ubetumi etua. Wo salaries no so wo enim fine.
Oh, okay.
Enti obi a odi ne ho begim no wo abi hu say oh it's a 3 years contract.
3 years.
Inti ade a Bawumia ubenye bi. Osu betumi abesi adan fefefe ankofo ne sisi ni bi. Ka fefefe ni bi mu.
Ne ebe kan se Nyankopon hira na ja. Se na mama amanfo akonya. Atiefo akonya kra ne yemisan etie me de wo mu se okukutwa 3 years ni wi na with good behavior. Amotumi ma akonya kra ma befa.
Oyire no ba.
Eko. Na che se okobo abusuan na no.
Sa.
Mommy bra ye be kwedie yebede wase so nyambre mai na nyame adoma da hofro ebesia aba I Rejoice Media TV hwe na yebesia aba biem yakra bye bye.